If you're like me, you have a lot of pet peeves as an art teacher. Other teachers using your classroom as a supply closet, students asking, "Are we doing anything important today?" The frustrating crunch of flipping water bottles, the middle schoolers who still don't know how to use rulers. But none of that compares to the three words that bother me the most. I can't draw. You've heard that, right? You tell someone you're an art teacher and they immediately tell you, "I can't draw." My response is, first of all, yes, you can. But second, and more importantly to me, is that it is not about that. It is not about that. That statement is a big problem for me on so many levels. Art is not about how well you can draw. As an art teacher, you know that art is more than the act of making something. Art is also about that connection, the spark, the magic, that magical moment when a person connects with a work of art. And as a teacher, nothing is more powerful to me than seeing a student relate to an artwork. Seeing a student get it is the ultimate high for every art teacher. Focusing solely on making art is not what we do. And in my opinion, it's not what we should do. Art is more than making. Art is understanding life and the human spirit. It connects us to our humanity and helps us understand where we fit in the world. It helps us embrace ourselves and other people. It helps us respect other worldviews and viewpoints. Looking at art helps us connect to the past so we understand what came before us. Art makes us better thinkers, too. When we critically examine and interpret artworks, we hone our mental abilities and challenge our assumptions. Language and reasoning skills are enhanced as we create and pick apart narratives, searching for symbolism and discovering new meanings. Our students carry the knowledge and intelligence they gain into their core classes and into their lives beyond the walls of school. Our students are citizens of a digital world in which they are constantly bombarded with images. With Snapchat and Instagram and the entirety of the internet, they encounter images unceasingly. The flow of pictures and information is not always innocent. Art class can be a place for our students to turn a discerning eye to what they see, an increasingly important ability in our society. Art arouses a sense of curiosity and wonder for the world. That is a powerful thing. As long as our students are curious, they're learning. We help them stay curious by modeling it ourselves and by choosing artworks that reflect and expand their view of the world. You know the value of this. You know the impact one work of art can have on a person. It can change you. You know it's important, but you may not always do it. What's kept you from teaching more art in your classroom? Is it lack of time? Are you worried that you just flat out don't have time because the focus in your class is art making? Is it because you don't have enough resources or even the technology to show art in your classroom? Are you worried that you will bore your students? That you'll put a work of art in front of them only to get blank stares, side whispers, or just no answers at all? Do you worry about your students' lack of attention span, low motivation, and poor attitudes? Or are you concerned that you just don't have the confidence or the knowledge of art history and artists to do the subject justice? I totally get it. I've been there. Let me tell you a story. In 2003, I graduated from the University of Texas with an art history degree and started my career as a museum educator. Working in various museums in Texas, like the Kimball Art Museum and the Amon Carter Museum, I honed my skills leading powerful art experiences to students of all ages, day in and day out. After I graduated with my master's in art education in 2006, I got my first classroom gig teaching art to students who don't drive away on a bus an hour after they arrive. As a museum educator, I grew so used to and inspired by the constant, amazing learning experiences and connections that I had to continue that way of teaching into my classroom. In my first teaching job, teaching community college art appreciation, I wanted to take my experiences as a museum educator and translate them into the classroom. I wanted my students to develop personal connections with works of art and spend quality time analyzing, interpreting, and connecting. I took to the internet to get started planning the semester. But you can guess what happened next. I couldn't find anything online. Internet searches would lead to either boring lecture notes or crafty projects, not the engaging, constructivist experiences that I wanted to lead around art. So I did what all teachers do. I did it myself. Working full-time doing arts integration professional development at an arts nonprofit and teaching nights, I spent every spare minute of my nights, weekends, lunch breaks, creating lessons that would spark a love of art in my students and get them thinking about art deeply. From having students pose as classical sculptures, to having students write TV commercials about ancient art, to leading debates about aesthetic theory, I created a core set of lessons that have become the foundation of my teaching. It was not easy. I struggled and I cried and read and planned and formatted PowerPoints in the wee hours of the night. I missed out on times with friends and family. I lived off of fast food and barely saw my husband for months. I probably spent more money than I made. My creative energy was spent by the end of each day. I did not take care of myself. These were some of the hardest months of my life, and I don't recommend working that tirelessly. But the results have been so worth it. In the decade plus since, I've developed and refined a core set of lessons for teaching all of the other art content: art appreciation, aesthetics, art criticism, art interpretation, art history, and cultural art. I moved beyond the Western art history from the art history survey classes to explore new cultures and artists. I transitioned from teaching community college to teaching elementary and then middle and high school. I created new lessons along the way, and the original lessons have come with me, being tweaked and perfected as I went. These lessons have been tested with my students of all ages, and now I'm giving them to you as a member of the Art Class Curator Resource Library. Does this story sound familiar to you? I know you're like me. You do not settle for learning experiences that are subpar. You know the power of art in a student's life, and you do all you can to inspire and encourage and make art a part of their lives, not just now, but for years to come. But honestly, you can't do it all and can't be expected to do it all. I don't recommend sacrificing your life for your teaching. I have done it more than I cared to admit, and I don't want you to go through the struggle that I went through. Thankfully, each year got easier. Because of these years of work as an elementary school, middle school, high school, and college art teacher, I always had an arsenal of activities, artworks, and lessons armed and ready to go for any situation. If I got bogged down hanging the next art show or grading 6 tons of sketchbooks or cleaning the classroom for the 15th time in a day, I always had a variety of go-to lessons in my back pocket. Most importantly, my students had amazing learning experiences and spent quality time with artworks that they now know and love. They will carry those interactions with those artworks with them through the rest of their lives. Don't just ask me. Check out this lovely group of students. Here are my lovely, goofy 6th graders from a few years ago, posing in front of an Nkisi power figure we studied before going to the art museum. I took an art around the world approach with my art classes that semester. We studied art from Africa, Australia, Islam, and more. During our museum visit, the students noticed that the Dallas Museum of Art had an Islamic art exhibit on display. And instead of heading to the park across the street for popsicles and lounging before lunch, they asked to visit the exhibit after the tour. They wanted to see Islamic art. They were excited about Islamic art. Can you believe it? They weaved through the art looking for tugras and Qurans and arabesques. My heart was full of satisfaction and love and wonder. I did that. And you know what? You can do it too. Your students will learn to connect with art and value the time they spend looking at it. You will make the time and priority to fit art into your busy studio schedule. Your hard-to-reach students who you feel can't be engaged, they'll enjoy your passionate teaching and ask for more. You will gain the knowledge and confidence to teach works of art even if you feel like you have no business teaching. Feel that magic spark that happens when your students truly get it. I have taken these lessons, the Art Around the World units, the aesthetics discussions, the art criticism essays, the creative art history units, and more, and put them into the Art Class Curator Resource Library. I've learned through my work in the last 5 years of running Art Class Curator that there are more teachers just like you than ever who have successfully incorporated art appreciation activities into their curriculum. I wanted to connect those passionate, knowledgeable art teachers out there who are offering their students meaningful art experiences, the ones committed to showing their kids the power of art. That's why I created Art Class Curator, to share my expertise and join together with other art teachers to raise a thoughtful, creative generation. But the more wonderful art teachers I met, the more I realized how many of us were unprepared and unsupported in our efforts to teach art history and art appreciation to our students. That's why I developed a museum of art appreciation and art history lessons. Now, instead of visiting site after site and saving endless ideas to Pinterest, you can just go to one place for all of your art history and art appreciation needs. And that place the Art Class Curator Resource Library. Let's take a minute and talk about what's included in the resource library and how it will help you escape hours of lesson planning with captivating, rigorous resources that free up time for your life outside of teaching. The Art Class Curator Resource Library was specifically designed for art teachers. It's structured to energize your classroom and help you discover new methods for teaching art. Two of my favorite resources in the resource library are the Art Appreciation Masterclass and the monthly Artwork of the Week bundle. In addition to the hundreds of lessons and activities already in the library, you'll receive a bundle at the beginning of each month that includes everything you need to incorporate a new artwork into your classroom every single week. Each month's bundle includes a thoughtfully curated collection of diverse artworks with discussion questions, talking points, and activity suggestions. Dedra, a resource library member from San Antonio, Texas, had her Artwork of the Week bundle ready to go when she needed last-minute sub plans. She returned to a clean classroom with a rave reports from both the substitute and the students. Jenny, a middle school and high school art teacher in Ohio, when she got her first bundle, she said, "I got the September bundle and thought, wait, this is all right here. I don't even have to think. I know I'm not the only one overwhelmed by many tasks and lack of time who finds this well-planned material a tremendous blessing." Wes, a high school art teacher in Houston, Texas, uses the materials from the resource library every week to create a Masterpiece Monday experience for his students. Beyond the Artwork of the Week bundles, there are more than 250 ready-to-use creative teaching materials and more than 25 hours of professional development workshops and videos. The resources are broken down by time period and thoughtfully categorized, so you won't spend hours scrolling and researching like you do on Google and Pinterest. Everything you need is at your fingertips. For instance, say you want to teach a unit on Impressionism. In the resource library, you'll find an online training, multiple lesson PowerPoints, along with in-class activities and homework assignments, not to mention review and quiz documents. And it doesn't stop with Impressionism. There are lessons on aesthetics, the elements and principles of art, individual artists, and units on everything from ancient to modern art. And that's just the beginning. New materials are constantly being added to the library, so members get a special email every week that lists the latest resources. As soon as you join the Art Class Curator Resource Library, you'll get access to the private members area, where you'll immediately have access to all of the worksheets, lessons, and trainings, including the Art Appreciation Masterclass, which is a crash course in everything you need to know to teach kids art. From how to choose an artwork to what to say during the artwork discussions and the best activities for keeping students interested and engaged. In addition to all of the resources, the private Facebook group for members, you'll also get access to me. Members take priority, and I'm always happy to answer emails and even set up calls to help you reach your highest potential. From giving extra information about lessons to suggesting artworks to helping you navigate the site, you've got another art teacher in your corner dedicated to you and your success. Know this, the people who get the biggest benefit from Art Class Curator are those that are excited about teaching, who want to invigorate their students and make a difference. People like Dedra, who took small steps and now have a class full of art-loving students. Or someone like Wes, who redesigned his whole curriculum after joining the resource library and now hosts Masterpiece Monday. Or Cynthia, who uses the materials in the resource library every single week with her elementary art students. If you see yourself in any of the stories I just shared and you want to bring art alive for your students, then the Art Class Curator Resource Library is for you. The library is for teachers who are committed to introducing engaging, educational art appreciation activities while maintaining a work-life balance. Speaking of being intentional, I've intentionally included a 100% 30-day money-back guarantee. More than 800 art teachers have fallen in love with the resource library, and I know it will work for you too. But I also know there's lots of too good to be true memberships online, and you want to carefully choose who you learn from. That's why I've included this guarantee. Try the Art Class Curator Resource Library. If it's not everything you hope it will be, tell me and I'll give you a refund. No questions asked, no guilt, no risk, and everything to gain. By now, you've seen the resource library gets results and saves you time. Think about what it would cost in both time and resources to try and do this yourself. And worse, what would it cost if you did nothing at all? If you stayed frustrated and strapped for time and let your plans for more art interpretation activities slide for another year? There is another way. And when you add up all the hours you spent trying to do it alone, not to mention the frustration of not getting where you want to be quickly, Well, you deserve to take the easiest, fastest route so you can finally create an art appreciation curriculum that you're proud of. And the way to get there is the Art Class Curator Resource Library. The investment is less than $1 a day. For $29 a month, you get the Art Appreciation Masterclass, hundreds of worksheets, printables, PowerPoints, and lessons, more than 20 professional development trainings, weekly art emails, monthly Artwork of the Week bundles, access to the private Facebook community, and the new resources that are added every month. For less than $1 a day, you can gain the skills and knowledge to ignite your classroom with works of art. For less than $1 a day, you could save hours of work from your planning periods, nights, and weekends. If you join as a yearly member at $299 a year, you get all of that, plus free admission to a live workshop in Dallas, the archive of all previous Artwork of the Week bundles, and your school can pay for your membership with a purchase order. At the yearly price, it's like getting 2 months of your membership for free. Your time is worth it. Invest with the Art Class Curator Resource Library. The library will be closing soon. We close enrollment so that we can put all of our energy into making the experience the best it can be for our members. As you're making your decision, know this. If you're feeling overwhelmed and strapped for time, if you feel like you don't know enough to create powerful art history lessons, if you don't know how to get your students to connect and relate to works of art, if you wish your classes were full of engaged, delighted students, or you're struggling to get new ideas or inspiration, that's normal, especially at this time of year. I've learned that waiting until life slows down to try something new is a fruitless task. Life never slows down. So now is the time to take the action needed to reach your goals. Life is an ongoing competition for your time and attention, and it's a competition you rarely win. But it doesn't have to be that way. By making your goals a priority and having what you need to make them a reality, you can interrupt that pattern and get where you want to go. Ask yourself this: what's important in your teaching life right now? What do you want to achieve in the months ahead? Knowing that you had a wealth of art lessons ready to go will give you exactly what you're after: engaged students and peace of mind. How long have you wanted this for yourself and your students? How many times has this goal been pushed to the back burner? You have an opportunity to do something about that right now, today. Join us and become a member of the Art Class Curator Resource Library. Click the button that you see on this page to get started. I can't wait to help you reach your teaching potential.